Hello everyone, welcome to Nomad Outside the Box. Today I have very big announcements to make, so stay tuned for that. But before, I want to make a recap and tell you more about what happened in my journey since January 2020. And yes, you heard right. I filmed my last video that I published in January 2020. If you want to get to the announcements right away and don't want to know about my journey, you can go to this time to skip all of the journey, which a lot happened. So let's start. January 2020 is a blur. The only highlights that I have in January was I turned 26 and I changed my septum. And then I went to February, which I got a vacation from work. And I decided to go to Colombia to see my friends, which I feel like they're family. And also back in Colombia, I started applying for prides in Canada because I wanted to perform across Canada. So I applied to 29 prides. Did not happen quite the way I thought it would because of COVID, but who knows? Maybe next year, maybe in 2 years, we'll see. I also came across a YouTuber that is fantastic, that is also a nomad traveler, also trans non-binary. Their name is Daniel. They have a channel and an Instagram that is called Trans in Transit. They are absolutely fantastic. I will put their link in the description below if you want to check them out. They're really, really awesome. March, I came back from Colombia, almost did not make it. This is another story in itself, and I'll do another video about that because it was an adventure. I almost did not make it back, but I did. And when I did, I decided to start the process for my name change. As it went, there were more and more talks about the shutdown with the quarantine with COVID-19, and it was rapidly, I was gonna say slowly, but no, rapidly creeping in the conversation. And at the time, if you remember in my past video, I moved to another place. I loved living by myself, but the apartment was shitty. It was not nice. And when I came back from Colombia, there was this opportunity with a studio apartment that was a dream come true. I moved for the third time in a year, but it was the best decision I could have taken. I moved right before the shutdown. Quarantine happened. So I was on the other side of quarantine, which has pros and has cons. So it was a global pandemic, global break. It still is. I'm super, super grateful I got to keep my job, but I was working 40 hours a week while everyone was on break, almost everyone, just navigating all these feelings and all these changes. I had no energy, no time for myself, because on top of working 40 hours a week, bless the drag community shifted really quickly to digital content, digital shows, which is amazing, fantastic. But it means that I needed to do pre-recorded content on top of my 40-hour work. So I did 5 new numbers for the digital shows, which was amazing. But again, people were on break. So there were shows during week times, also on time zones that were not necessarily mine, but it was fantastic to still have this opportunity to perform and perform sometimes in places that I would not have expected. Obviously, I mentioned the name change earlier. I needed to do my fingerprints, but everything shut down, so I could not change my name, which was another very challenging thing, especially in quarantine, especially doing drag online and getting tips online. My bank was just, it's another story. I will do that in another video. TikTok, I started doing TikTok with drag and I went viral. I went viral, I went viral, but not in the great way. Yeah, I have a lot of feelings about that. Then George Floyd's murder happened. I wish it didn't happen. It woke up a lot of people, which was needed. I'm sad that it needed that to happen, on top of many, many Black folks that got murdered throughout history. So I did a huge reassessment of where I'm at and where I want to go and where I want to be and how to make that sustainable. I do want to mention that Black Lives Matter, and that means all Black lives, including trans Black lives, and that's really important. And as a trans non-binary person, I also acknowledge that I would not be here with the rights that I have today if it wasn't from Black trans lives. So thank you. I'm gonna leave it to that. I'm gonna do another video about that. Then all of the energy and time with my work, with drag, with everything that happened in the world, I just felt so clouded, and I needed to reconnect with my body, mind, spirit. I needed to find clarity, and for that I decided to do the master cleanse. I filmed that, and so I'm gonna do videos about the master cleanse. Then I also started doing hikes again, which was great. I did not do videos about that, but I did take pictures. So if you're interested and you want to follow the journey, you can follow my Instagram. I'll put it in the description box below as well. All of that to say, I have really huge announcements to make because things opened up again. So I want to announce, one, that I have received officially my name change certificate. All that I'm gonna mention, I'm gonna make other videos about that because there's a lot to talk about. Two, I made the change for my identification, so driver's license, healthcare card. I changed my name, my address, but also my gender marker. So gender marker, that's another video I want to make. So many videos are gonna get out of this video. Then, I am very pleased to announce that I have my first appointment for my first T-shot on September 2nd, 2020. Wow, that's a lot of change. That's a lot of personal growth that is happening right now. So yeah, I wanted to tell you my big personal transition / trans non-binary news. Oh, also I forgot, if you want to follow my journey through my transition, through everything, if you like my content, you can subscribe below. And fun fact, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I can start monetizing my channel. So let your friends know. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.